Hey guys, it's Maya. I'm going to show you one of these crazy drawings of mine back here. So I'm going to be little in this video so you can see all of this crazy drawing behind here. And here's what I want to show you today. Consider this an impromptu clarity session for you. And this is going to be homework if you are going to be joining us for our very first group, which I believe is going to be August 10th and the 28th. I'll post a link to join group for only $25 a month. And we're starting this month. So this is going to be homework for those of you that are already in group and are going to be joining us for group. I'm going to take you through the stages of change, the stages of change that are required of you to accomplish what you want to accomplish and to get where you want to go. And I want you to do this exercise for yourself. Now, I say that with an asterisk or a caveat. You are not going to be able to complete all of this because all of it is not in your awareness yet. I just want you to take yourself as far as you can go and maybe just use a different color for the things that maybe you haven't integrated, the lessons you haven't integrated, or if you are kind of planning ahead or guessing as in, well, I might need that new habit to create my new life circumstance. And real quick, this is for you, Jennifer. You had also asked me about, there was a question that you, Jennifer, had about in the pizza and carrot method training. It is the third segment video. And in that third segment video, it talks about how to create a new habit as a high level overview. And I talked to you about a new day ideal, that new day ideal. And I don't go very deep into it. So, Jennifer, this is going to go into that new day ideal for you to understand right up here. This is for you right there, what this is more, okay? The new day ideal, simply said, is you could say holistic view of where you're going, who you're becoming, what you're wanting to accomplish and do, not just in the aspect of weight loss, but in, how does this person think? How do they feel? What is the rest of their life like, right? That's that new day ideal to answer your question easily and simply. Now, let's dive in. And this crazy mess behind me that you see about the stages of change, I'm going to take you through my stages of change. So I'm going to get real for you, and you're going to understand more about me and how I think and what my old habits are, what new habits I had to cultivate. So you're going to get a peek into my own head. So let's start simply. I want you to ignore everything unless we're talking about it and working on it, okay? We're going to start right here. This piece right here. This piece right here. Now, in your alignment exercise, in your alignment pattern, this is your old or your current life circumstance. Ignore all this from me for a second, and you can take a screenshot anytime you want to. I want you right here. This is what I want. You can draw a big circle. Now, you already know this. If you're here, you have already heard this from me before. So, right here is my current life circumstance, probably what I am not wanting, right? At one point in my life, when I was where you were, had huge amounts of debt, still working to pay off my school loans, but I have it even more because I had the same habits that I had in food I had with my money. And so I was also experiencing fat on my body, extra fat on my body that I didn't want. I wasn't fat, I was experiencing fat. Make sure you heard that because that's a big difference, right? The same habits that had me experiencing fat on my body kept me in debt and kept me single. So let's just use those three, right? Now, this was my old life circumstance. Maybe this is where you're at now. I've already asked you to do some of this. So let's this again, here's a peek into my own head, right? You already know the alignment exercise. You already know the alignment pattern. B, beliefs, what I believe to be true about myself and my world. T, drives my everyday habitual thoughts. E, drives my everyday habitual emotions. A, drives my actions, my habits, my everyday physical habit actions, right? Creates my life circumstance, okay? So, old Maya, well, I'm a big fan of control. Now, I'm not talking about a control freak, right? You already know from past clarity sessions, specifically the stress and negative thinking, that the human brain, in its most basic sense, is wired for safety, survival, and procreation. So there is a pleasure and pain aspect that drive us into action of some sort. This sense of control and things being in my control, my parents divorced at a young age. I picked up and got a job at a very young age, and the things in my external world may have seemed out of control, but I controlled what I could control because that felt safe to me. That felt as if, that was survival for me. And so there's this sense of control for me, that everything fits into the box and I control. The more things that are in control in my life, the safer I feel. Right now, I wasn't going around thinking those things every day. Now, big one for me is acceptance from other people liking me. That was part of control. There was a deep-seated unworthiness, not good enough, as we all experience. And when we're here, which we all experience very much, when we're living in this space of this old life circumstance, maybe where you're at now, life is really all about me. I'm not saying that I was selfish. I wasn't selfish. I'd be the first one to pick up and do something for someone. But my life was very small. It was when someone was talking to me, I wasn't able to be present in a conversation because I was always in my head about, what should I say to get them to like me, or what should I, or maybe even just future thinking and stress and anxiety. What do I have to do today? And, do I have to leave this meeting on what time is? I was always in my head. I was never present. I was sharing this with my partner the other day too about how, my world and so many of my years had been spent so far in my head that I had lost those moments and those years. I'm 37 years old as I stand here today, and there was most of my life where I wasn't present for my life because I was so far in my head that I wasn't in the moment. And these were what I believed to be true about myself and my world, right? The control, the me, the getting people to having to have people like and accept me. They manifested in different areas, right? Our beliefs drive our thinking. So I'm just giving you some examples because I could probably list pages for you. This drove me to overthink things. It drove me to think catastrophically, because if I could control the future and plan what was in the future for worst case scenarios, then I could control things better. There's a sense of morality, of right and wrong, good and bad, rule-based thinking, because that fits in that box of control and safety. And that produced stress, anxiety. These are habituated emotions. This way of habitual believing and thinking created stress, anxiety, solutioning, planning, controlling, always trying to fix something, like there was always a problem. And that's a deep state of stress, right? That's part of control, is always having to, there's always creating solutions or planning or fixing. Now, that created my actions, which were very short-term based actions, short-term thinking, instant gratification, not control or trying to control my schedule, actions that aligned with all or nothing behaviors. All or nothing should be here. All or nothing behaviors with my food. That was all on, all off a diet, right? Short-term bursts, like the inability to, becoming more in debt, but the inability to think long-term, whether that be buying or saving, as in, if I can't lose 50 pounds overnight, well, there's no point if I can't save $10,000 overnight, kind of thing. So that creates my life circumstance, okay? This is the old me, and group, remember, this is your homework. So I want you to fill out as much of this as you can before we meet for our first group, okay? Okay, so here we go. This is where you may be living right now. You're here because you want something new. You're here because you want a new life circumstance. But if you notice, way high up on the board, we're not there yet. We're not there yet, okay? So in order to move from my old life circumstance to my new life circumstance, there was a middle piece that, a middle place I had to reach, a place I had to, I'd say cultivate, but the better word is remember, before I could start creating this. What do I mean by that? Well, I knew I didn't want this. You know, I liken life to an appetizer platter. And in this appetizer platter, it's like, you know, you get to taste things on this appetizer platter. And life, you come to life and you sit down and you get this appetizer platter and you eat the, you eat the, I don't know what appetizer platter, you eat the olives and you're like, these are okay. And then you eat the caviar and you're like, so-so. Then you eat the bread and you're like, oh, that's really, really, really delicious. I love that. And then you eat sardines and you're like, oh, duh, I don't like that. I actually like sardines, but if you're like, I don't like sardines. But if you come with this belief that you're just not good enough, you know, you just raise your hand and talk to the waiter over and over and over again. Hey, more sardines, more sardines, more sardines, because I'm not worthy of what I really like. So that's how we develop preferences in life. We develop preferences, and from your most natural state, that's really important, from your most natural state, you move towards your preferences and likes and say no to your dislikes and unpreferences. It's the reason I use the term less than desirable emotions. There are things you like and there are things you don't like. We should be moving closer to the things that we do like. That's how life works, is experiences. And not to say that, you know, if you have an experience of fatness on the body, if you have an experience like I did of fatness on the body and debt and being single, I had those experiences and I didn't like them. I had those experiences and I didn't like them, like the sardines. So instead of raising my hand for the next 20 years and saying, ooh, can I have more debt? Ooh, can I have more fat? Ooh, can I have more singleness, right? So we can say no and start down the path of cultivating something new, okay? So in order to get there, there's this middle place that, this is a big place that this is my humble opinion. I will always share with you because I come from a past version of myself who tries to, who tried to get love from the outside and acceptance and people like me, blah, 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 blah. You will always only hear from my own experience or from the science, which is my medical-based background. That's the only place I am ever going to share with you. That way, I know that the old version of me that still exists within the neural pathways of my brain do not act up. And I don't take those same pathways. They're still there. I don't hate this person, but I do know this person well. I do know this mask well. I do know this identity well within me. But as you move through this process of change and throughout your stages of change, you will understand that this person, sometimes I joke, I call them earmuffs if you need earmuffs. I call this person my inner asshole sometimes. It's not bad. They're not an asshole, right? This is just an identity, an old mask, an old persona, an old set of neural pathways in my brain that once served me but no longer does. So they're there, but I don't feed them. It's like that quote that I posted. There was a quote that I posted on my Facebook and Instagram page. It said, leave your front door and your back door open. Allow thoughts to come in and go out. Just don't sit down to serve them tea, right? You got to know which ones to let in and let out. Okay, so you move into this middle place. This middle place that I was just saying to you is very much like, it is the place that a lot of times when it comes to motivation, right? Motivation, inspiration, you immediately want to jump to this new life circumstance, but you can't skip this step. It's everyone gets here, but I don't think that people acknowledge it as much as we need to acknowledge it, because this is in my experience, this is the truth of who you are. This is your existence. You are, by nature, peace, contentment, and calm. By nature, by sheer existence, you are a soul of peace, contentment, and calm. This old life circumstance was only learned by you. You only learned control. You only learned unworthiness. That's why this is a process here of unlearning. You have to get to this middle place of peace, contentment, and calm. This is your home. This is your truth. This is who you are. From peace, contentment, and calm, you can go into your world and experience experiences and say yes to the ones you like and no to the ones you do not like, to live a full, rich, and robust, amazing world and life, right? So in this place, you remember, you unlearn, and you remember that you are peace, contentment, and calm by nature. Here, in all these little boxes, what I mean are the things that I learned, I had to learn as lessons, tools I had to use in order to remember and reconnect to Maya's words, my true self, my higher self. I had to learn how to surrender, and I had to learn how to accept. It's like from here to here when you hit that place of acceptance and surrender, because so much of the time we're trying to fight and control and manipulate and wrestle down to the ground what is before we can create what was wanted, right? We have to go through acceptance and surrender of what is before we can create what is wanted. And this place right here of surrender and acceptance, there was a speaker in an AA meeting who said this. I picked it up from, his name was Bob, and I heard this on the YouTube video. He said that there is a really fine line between a nervous breakdown and surrender. And it is 100% true, at least in my experience. Okay, so I had to reconnect with the present moment living. Here's peace, contentment, and calm. I had to be open my heart. Flow. There's a state of flow here for us. This is where creativity happens. Creativity starts to create this stuff for you over here. Creativity. And lastly, here in this middle space, maybe this is the first time you're hearing this. It says innate worth, but worth is crossed out. Why? Because there's a concept, an understanding, a realization that you will move into and have that worth is only known to you as a concept. It's conceptual in nature. By having the word worth in our world, that means that I am either worthy or unworthy, that these are dichotomies of two opposite ends of a stick, right? There is no worth. There's no, you're not, I could say you're innately worthy, but that would mean that somebody else would be not worthy. There's no such thing as worth. You are peace, contentment, and calm, period. There's no need for the concept of worth. Down here, you had learned that you were unworthy, maybe because of unconditional love, or the conditional love, very often that we're so many of us, the majority of us have been raised with as children, is this sense of conditional love. It's not that our parents meant to purposefully love us conditionally. They did the best they could with the tools they had. But when you're sitting in bed crying as a child, right, not getting the love is conditional love. And, only when you do something good versus bad. So we get to this plate and we learn worthiness and unworthiness and conditional love and unconditional love. Here, in the truth of who you are, in the truth of who I have learned that I am, is innate. You could say innately worthy, but you could also take worth entirely off the table, because worth is not a concept that we need discuss or talk about, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't need to exist. There's no question of worth. You exist, period. If I say to you, you are worthy and valuable, it means at some point or someone else is unworthy and unvaluable. It introduces the stick. I'm telling you there's no stick because you exist. And in your existence, there's peace, contentment, and calm. To move from here into here, key lessons that we have to adopt and embrace and realize are going to be mindfulness, meditation, surrender, and acceptance. We can't change what is if we're so focused on controlling and fighting and manipulating and wrestling to the ground what is, until we accept what is, and then what is can change into something that we have been wanting it to be. When you're here, and you adopt new beliefs. This is a belief. It is my belief that life is an appetizer platter of experiences that I get to taste and decide if I like and don't like. That is my belief. You don't have to pick it up. It's how my life works and how the stages of change have worked. What do I want to build? Who do I want to build, right? New life circumstance, ideal. Who do I want to build? This is who I am, right? This is who I am. This is a game. And this is a game. Did you hear that? This is a game, and this is a game. If you're going to play the game, play the game. If you're not going to play the game, hang out in peace, contentment, and calm. Hang out in the truth of who you are. Then ask the question, who do I want to build? Because you built this. You built this person. You did this. I did this. Who do I need to become to accomplish what I want to accomplish? Question number 1. When you're here, who do I want to build? Who do I want to build? I'll show you who I built and who I'm continuously building. Who do I want to build? Question number 2, when you answer, who do I want to build? Now, who do I want to build, right? My first level of who do I want to build? Well, I don't want to be in debt or experiencing fat or experiencing single. This is all the experience. I want the experience of savings and a big bank account. And I want the experience of being healthy and feeling light in my body. And I want the experience of being with a partner. So that's what I want to build. Okay, question number 2. Who do I need to become to accomplish what I need to accomplish or want to accomplish? You don't need to accomplish it, you want to accomplish it. Who do I need to become to accomplish what I want to accomplish? Okay, let's do it. New ideal, Miss Jennifer. New ideal day. Well, this is what I want in my life circumstance. Debt-free, savings, weight loss, man, something, I'll explain that in service in a moment. Well, it starts right here. When you live here, your beliefs change. I remember the day very clearly. It was, I woke up one morning, and this is just how my realizations happen. It happened. I woke up one morning, and I just had the realization and understanding. And when I say to you, I just had it, I've played this game for years. I love this game, and of becoming, of change. I mean, it's why I do what I do. I don't care if nobody watches this video. I love it. So I woke up one morning after a culmination of all of the things that I do, and it was very clear to me, very clear, that, what was it? My business was transitioning, and as the business was transitioning, as it had done many times, it was something that was weighing on me. So mind was clear, woke up that morning, and before I even got out of bed, I heard, you chose to fail. You chose to fail, meaning me, right? And it was the best thing that I remember that morning. It was like, I chose to fail. And you know why it was the best thing? Because if I chose to fail, I can choose to succeed. I'm choosing both. Yes, I've chosen fail. I've chosen to eat the experience on the appetizer platter of debt and fat and single. I chose those too. And I chose to fail so I could choose to succeed, which means that I could do anything if I choose it. That was just an I can belief. I'm not saying this is for you. I'm just sharing me, right? Here's my belief. B, belief. I can beliefs. T, thoughts. Well, out of this, there's a lot that came here, right? Remember, group, I'm asking you to do this for yourself. Fill in as much of this as you can. Like this is a big piece of homework. With T came long-term thinking. I've talked to you about long-term thinking. Long-term thinking gets you in the long-term game. Long-term game of saving. Okay, $1 a day. serves as enough. Stepping stones for your weight loss, for permanent weight loss, serves as enough. You come to learn, love, and respect. You come to, I shouldn't say love, you come to respect the mechanism that yields you the result, which eventually turns into long-term thinking. There's plenty of other thoughts here that are going to be built, these building blocks. You're literally creating this person. Who do I want to build? New ideal life circumstance. That's who I want to build. Okay, let's go build it. Let's go build her. Well, she needs I can beliefs. She needs long-term thinking. Because of that long-term thinking, there's going to be, and what she does in her actions, there's going to be more excitement there. There's going to be joy. There's going to be a momentum. There's going to be gratitude. Gratitude. Natural, not forced gratitude. I remember years ago, it's like gratitude journal. Everybody was doing the gratitude journal. You don't get it till you get it, till you understand where it fits and the proper use of these tools, right? Actions. My actions were aligned. It doesn't matter if I wanted the whatever Starbucks coffee. Well, you know what? We don't need it today. You're going to put that $3 into your savings, period. Right? I still had this thinking. This is really important. This person is still there. This persona, this identity, and this mask, this set of neural pathways is still there. I get more joy and more dopamine out of this than I do this because I have worked the stages of change, because I have built this person, because that's who I decided who I wanted to become. And so no matter what I have to do, I'm going to do it because I like the result, money in my bank account, no extra fat on my body, experience, and being in partnership with someone. Now, really what shifted, obviously, from a business perspective, too, was a massive amount of service, right? If I'm not trying to people please or pay my bills, then I can naturally just be in service, where I can create this video for you right now and not care if anybody watches it, if it affects one person. Do you see what I'm doing here? Does it make sense? I want you to put your comments and your insights down below. This is a lot. This is a lot. Group, here's what I want you to do. This is your alignment exercise. This isn't something new for you. You've been around this information. Old life circumstance, current. New life circumstance. Who do I want to build? Who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? What beliefs do I have to have? What thinking do I have to have? What emotions would I have? What actions must I have in order to accomplish what I want to accomplish? I defined it right here, okay? And we can't skip this middle section. We can't skip over the truth of who you are. You can't skip over the connection to your higher self, to your higher power, to God, to the universe, to fill in your own blank. You can't skip over this part because this is your resting place. This is your truth. This is no game. This is game and this is game. You're not allowed to choose to play the game and hate it. If you don't want to play the game, go learn mindfulness and meditation and start surrendering and start accepting everything in your life. Get out of the game and get back to a place of peace, contentment, and calm. And when you want to get back into the game of life, that is life, of tasting, of experiencing, of creating, of deciding, of accomplishing, then you can. And when you accomplish this, here's what's going to happen. You're going to love it, and you're going to want more, and you're going to want to do it again, and then you're going to want to do it again. That's how this works. Okay, so place your comments down below. Jennifer, you got your answer now. Group, I want you to feel free if you want to take a screenshot, go ahead and do that now. You can pause the video. And I want you to fill in as much of this as you can fill in before we meet for group in August. If you are not joined us for group in August, it's $25 a month. That is insane. It's ridiculous. Why am I doing that for you? Because number one, I'm obviously in a place of service. Here's what I know, because I've been in your shoes. You have spent thousands of dollars, and there's so many people who just are not even signing up for the $7 pizza and carrot method training because they've done so much that their brain can't get out of the old game of like, oh, I'm gonna fail again, or she's trying to take my money. I'm not gonna pay my bills off the $7 and your $25 a month, right? Unless there's more of you, which I really, really hope there to be. So you've already spent tons of money, which is why I'm keeping everything low for you. $25 a month is absolutely nothing. It is, and if you have a hard time with $25 a month, then please just reach out to me. Here's what we're going to do. This is going to be your first assignment, and in group, what we will do is we'll have a topic, and then we'll have some hot seat coaching, and then we will leave with a set of homework. So I am giving you a preset homework right now to come into group, okay? And for those of you who want some hot seat coaching, be prepared and make sure you come with a question. All right, my friends, I hope you'll join us for group, and I hope that this right here was incredibly helpful for you. It was a lot, so I encourage you to watch this video and then repeat it, and then repeat it again and again and again and again to keep listening. I love you so much. Thank you guys for being here. As always, I am always here for you. Please reach out anytime you need. Have a great day.